Hey yo everyone! With the announcement of Spider-Man 2 getting a PC port already and the confirmation from Insomniac that the game won't be getting any further content, I wanted to take a look at the studio and see what else they could possibly be cooking up. Thanks to last year's Insomniac hack, we have a decent look at their potential roadmap, including a new Ratchet & Clank game, Wolverine, and of course, Spider-Man 3. Oh, and heads up, I'll be mentioning spoilers for Spider-Man 2, so probably skip this video if you're still trying to avoid any story stuff. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Alright, let's get it. Alrighty, so last week Insomniac confirmed that they have no plans to develop any story DLC for Spider-Man 2. Huge bummer, I know. I was really hoping for any excuse to hop back into this world because swinging around the city and going through the same fights over and over again is starting to wear a bit thin on me. With how the Spider-Man 2 side missions ended, I was almost certain they were setting up a post-launch storyline. Maybe one that would follow the Chameleon, one that would feature Carnage, or heck, even an expansion that would introduce Silk, aka Cindy Moon, who was teased at the end of the game. To be honest though, my biggest hope for the DLC was for Insomniac to give us a sneak peek at their version of the upcoming Wolverine game. Maybe not play as him, but at least introduce him as a character in like a mission or something, and just give us fans a little taste of what we can expect for his full feature title. Sadly, this will not be the case, as I've already mentioned before that Insomniac is not planning any further story content for the game. So if they're not working on DLC for Spider-Man 2, what else could they be working on? And when can we expect to see more content from the studio? Well, thanks to a ransomware attack last December, we have a rough idea of what Insomniac is working on and when we could possibly be seeing their releases. Of course, these are all just leaks and speculation, and a lot of this could have changed internally since the hack, but for the sake of conversation, let's just assume they're sticking with the leaked release schedule. Okay, so supposedly next year in 2025, Insomniac is planning on releasing a Venom game. The speculation is that it will be similar in scope to the Miles Morales game, so basically a Spider-Man 2.5, if you will. Just like all the other leaks in here, we don't really know too much about the plot details, so your guess is as good as mine. If I had to take a wild stab at it though, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the villain will probably be Carnage based on how the Flame storyline ended in Spider-Man 2. Which version of Venom will this be? I have no idea, and I'd honestly love to hear you guys' theories down below in the comments. Do you think it will be Harry again somehow, or Eddie Brock, or someone completely different? Either way, if the game is actually going to release next year, we should be getting details sooner rather than later. Then, in 2026, Insomniac's Wolverine game is set to release. This game seems to be the one most affected by last year's hack. I'm not going to show anything, but if you want to dig a little, you can see early gameplay floating around there somewhere on the internet. Obviously, very much still a work in progress, but the gist of it is there. Anyway, from what we know so far, this Wolverine game is set to feature a more mature tone, which is great for the character. I think Wolverine is at his best when he can just claw up enemies and be a total jerk. Insomniac has said that they're looking to embrace Wolverine's dark side, so I'm hoping that means we can get a real in-depth narrative that doesn't hold back, even if that means the game will have to be rated M. Other than that, we don't know too much else. We're unsure of who the villain will be, where and when the game is set, or if we'll be seeing any other already canon Insomniac characters like a Silver Sable or even Peter Parker. Spider-Man 2's director did explicitly mention that these games are all set in the same universe though, so there is a possibility that we could see some overlap of some kind. Then in 2028, Spider-Man 3 is set to release. Basically from this point on, we don't know any other details about these games other than alleged release years. So we have no clue what Spider-Man 3 will be about or who will be in it. Based on how Spider-Man 2 ended, I think it's safe to assume that Doc Ock will be making a return, as well as Norman Osborn finally making the transition into the Green Goblin. As for the heroes, I'm unsure of who will be in the game. Will Silk be a playable character? Will Venom be returning? Will Wolverine cross over into the game as a playable character or even just as an NPC? It's way too early to tell. We've got a long time to wait before then, but the hype is already starting to build. All I know is I really don't want this to be the last Insomniac Spider-Man game. These guys are way too good at this to stop at just a trilogy. Hopefully this is just the beginning of the Insomniac Marvel universe. But despite all of their success with the Marvel IP, it looks like Insomniac is still going to be working on other projects, including a Ratchet & Clank game set for 2029. They worked on Rift Apart while developing their previous Marvel projects, so I'm sure this will be no different. It really is incredible how buttoned up this studio is. It feels like a lot of other companies can't even manage one project at a time, so to see Insomniac consistently churn out bangers at this high of a clip is something to celebrate, for sure. The following year, 2030, an untitled X-Men game is set to release. Yeah, so apparently this Wolverine game is the first of 3 X-Men games that Insomniac has signed on to produce. We know nothing about this game and really can't even speculate since we don't even know what the Wolverine game will be about. We do know, however, that the 3rd game in this trilogy is set to release by 2033, nearly a decade from now. Like I said, we don't really have any idea at all about what this will be, so feel free to speculate in the comments. Do you think it will be a different X-Men character for each game, or do you think they're going to build it similar to that of SpiderMan 2, where the player can switch to different characters? At this point, we'll probably be running it on the PS6, so the possibilities are really through the roof. And that's kind of where Insomniac is sitting right now, at least as far as we know through the leaks. It looks like to me that there are a few different teams within the studio that will be spread out over the next decade. One team will be working on SpiderMan 3, another team working on this Venom standalone game and then probably Ratchet & Clank, and then a 3rd team working on Wolverine and the following X-Men games. But based on this timeline, we don't know what the SpiderMan 3 team will do after that game is finished in 2028. It could be working on DLC, it could be working on an unannounced project like a SpiderMan 4, or it could be them joining the X-Men development team to wrap up that trilogy. If that's the case, the scope of that X-Men game must be massive. Either way, I'm pumped to see what Insomniac does in the upcoming years. They've earned the benefit of the doubt. If any development team can handle this ambitious of a release slate, it's them. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you disappointed we're not getting any Spider-Man 2 DLC? Or are you happy to hear that they're already hard at work for these other Marvel projects? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts and theories down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It means a lot. I appreciate you guys, as always, and I'll catch you in the next one.